So let's do a crypto market update. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 87,200. And the overall situation of Bitcoin is pretty much going in the direction that as I have been discussing since I started doing market updates, because we have done 2 market updates. This is third one. I realized that there are so many influencers out there that is leading to overall disaster in the market. They are not letting people know that it is the time to buy and it is the time to sell. I think this is something through which I can give you a direction on the market and overall feel where are we headed, because I think people are generally scared, and this is not a motivational approach, but I think that when I firmly believe that it is time to enter the market, I would be sharing, which is the case scenario that I did with 2-3 days ago when I made that video. And from that time, from 80k up till now 87k, we have been running up with the journey. Of course, my confirmation of the uptrend is at $94,000. So we'll talk about that, but first let's start with the market situation. If we talk about the ETF inflows and outflows on Bitcoin, Ethereum and Solana, there is not much to talk about on XRP. When we talk about the positive aspect is that of Solana. I think maybe my editor will zoom in on this for you, or actually show you the picture. Even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter, take my word for it. The inflow on Solana ETF was positive in a sense that it was green throughout the week, which means that pretty much on everyday basis, if you look at it, the numbers were green and we didn't have any red numbers. As you can see, everything stayed green, there were no outflows. That is a good indication that, Solana is not that much, but at the end of the day, at least a coin launched its ETF and it stayed good. That in itself is a shocking thing. On the other end, when we talk about ETF on Ethereum, it was not good. It was red, which is again a signal of weakness. A lot of redness on the ETF and on Ethereum. Same applies for the ETF of Bitcoin. The outflows, they were massive, and of course, we are talking about $2 billion in almost a week. And that just shows panic. Now, I'm not bothered with the ETF inflows or outflows, because for me, it's very clear. It's same more on retailers that were buying Bitcoin directly. Now they're buying it through ETF. It's retailers sitting at this end. Previously, they were sitting at the other side of the wall. It's not educated investors. They are not institutions. I know that influencers or other people, they go and write articles and they say institutional money is coming in. No, it's not. It's the idiotic money. Same stupid people that were buying before. They have just changed the way of buying. Previously, they were using USDT and USDC to buy. Now they're using their banks to buy directly through ETFs, because they like to pay that extra money to their broker. Because I think pimping is the way to go, where they don't pay extra fee. I think they feel left out because they think that buying something on their own as an autonomous human being is too much, is too weak for them. So they decided to buy through somebody, and that's why ETFs are working and they're going to institutions, which is plain stupid, to be very honest with you. I don't think that any sane, capable, independent human being, and now the independent is used only in a negative sense. When you see someone making a statement, strong, independent, you're already triggered. But in its true sense, if you're talking about the independent person, or someone who is talking about decentralization and autonomy and having full access to their funds, they would never go to a centralized entity or something like ETF. I think that is for old school people. It is for people who invest in oil and gold, the most anti-tech, anti-democratization people who believe in industrialization, extremely old school people who never believe in the overall growth of the world, who only believe that money should be in their pockets so they could have toilets of gold and all that kind of stupid stuff that they have done with the money. But when we talk about you and me, I don't know if we qualify as rich, but at least when we think of overall growth, we are thinking more of community level growth, in contrast to when they were thinking of growth, they were only thinking of themselves. And that was horrible at the level of scientists as well. You can talk about monsters like Thomas Edison. He fucked up Nikola. He died of poverty. He wrote his letters of crying to his mother that he couldn't do anything for the mother, and he is dying now in poverty, far from one thing that he loved, which was his mother in US, and of course in the end he went mad. On the other end, Mr. Edison kept on adding more and more patents to himself, and he kept on getting richer and richer. That is the mindset of industrialization. First humans were farmers. Before that, let's forget about that. Then they become industrialists, and now we are dealing with the new era. We still have bad people. I mean, you have Elon Musk there who is collecting funds, but that's not the general audience. So coming back to the ETF, I don't think that this is something that is respectful. Anyone who is participating in ETF is basically someone who hates crypto and is an anti-crypto human being. But anyway, that's a one-time discussion on this that I'm having here. I will never discuss this again with you guys. But anyway, the outflow was red. It's nothing that important. The overall market is going well, and if you're wondering why is it going well, it's good from so many angles. If we talk about liquidity hunts, the liquidity is at $88,000-$89,000. So from liquidity's perspective, it is good that the market goes up. When we talk about the trend line from 2023, after all these crashes, the Bitcoin trend is still staying up. It touches the trend line, goes up, touches the trend line, it goes up, and it touched the trend line again. Of course, there is a wick. I'll act as I don't see it. It touched the trend line, the bodies of the candles are there, and hopefully it will go up again. I mean, my major concern is over the alts. It's not about the Bitcoin. I'm not here for the big boys to tell you that big boys can get richer. I'm here for you guys. All we care about is the altcoins. Fuck Bitcoin. Anyway, when we talk about Bitcoin's overall crashing after the all-time highs, it is very common for Bitcoin to do a 32% in the recent trends to crash from the top, and this time it has only done 36%, but the overall crashes, they are pretty much same in size. So the overall retracement and everything was intact, nothing surprising over there, and now taking a jump from the areas of 80k towards 87k is all good. And 87 is pretty much from where shit started going down and things got into trouble. Of course, for us, the first indication was $94,000, and that is where I told you that if it loses $90,000 is a psychological support. I wouldn't care. This thing will bleed towards 74. And of course, it stopped a little bit earlier before 74. But the thing is that if we don't capture back 94, or at least go and touch it one time, the overall bleed and the uncertainty in the market will remain, and the doors for 74k will remain open as well. That is just a sad reality, but it is what it is. I need to see Bitcoin touching 94 one time. Once the touch is done, the harassment is done, we have a case in file, then I'll assume that, okay, now we can take action. Bullish trend is confirmed. Right now, everything is indicating for the upward journey. I took my shot with the upward direction at 80k, but it was more of a gutsy decision rather than having a confirmation. My confirmation is at 94. Once we touch that, we will have a confirmation. So when we talk about the overall market, everything is good, but we need break of trends. And one thing that I want to see breaking down, and this is something I talked about yesterday as well, and the day before yesterday, is that I want to see Monday green. If we see Monday green, we had a green Saturday, a green Sunday. Monday is always red, and it's been 2 months that Monday is red. We need to see a green Monday. Once we see that, that will give us 3 consecutive green days. There will be a bit of confidence in the market. So on the Tuesday, when the markets again starts shitting itself, people wouldn't panic that much, and they would say, okay, we had some nice days. 1 day of retracement is okay, so we could go and fly again. So the overall market is not in a horrible place. The fear and uncertainty index is also moving away. It was at 11, now it is slowly moving up. Things are changing, but the thing is that we are still missing solid confirmation. But whatever we are seeing, everything is pointing in one direction, and that is up and not down. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions or I have touched on a topic and you expect me to explain a bit more, I'll try my best to explain that to you in the comments. Leave a comment, and I'm not going to tell you to like and subscribe, because if you're not interacting with the video or if you're not subscribed, you're not going to see all the 10 videos that I make every day. You're going to miss out on it, and I think you are educated enough to understand what to subscribe and what not to, because if you want to miss out on it, then why not? It's for your own good, and you should know better what is good for you.